vibration of harmony for unity at the lake. She is a massage therapist, a Reiki master, a reflexologist, and a certified spirit coach. She continues to be a student in the Celebrating Life Ministries program, where she is deepening her spiritual life. So I welcome Juliette.
Thank you, Carol. Sit that there. Get my notes that I probably aren't going to use half of, because that's what happens. But I got them. I actually pull these out because my eyes are becoming old eyes. So, Jesus was doing a Sermon on the Mount, and he said, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see good deeds and glorify the Creator." And what does that mean? Let your light shine. Right now, out there in the world, we're not seeing a lot of light shining, are we? We're kind of seeing everybody's kind of dimmed down. And it's really a shame, because we have these little things that dim our light. They could be beating ourselves up. That's a big dimmer. In fact, that's probably the biggest dimmer of all, is when we tell ourselves that you messed up. Okay, you messed up. Everybody messes up. Lord knows I mess up a lot. In the past, I would have taken that on for maybe a week, maybe a month, maybe 5 years, 10 years, maybe still beating something up that I did when I was a teenager. Like, why? It's because we're kind of hardwired that way for some strange reason. It has to do with our fight or flight and that limbic part of our brain, which is the lizard part of our brain. And it's always looking to keep safe. And so when we're trying to keep ourselves safe, basically what's happening is we're looking at where we did wrong so we can not do the wrong, so we can stay safe. Now, if you are being chased by a saber-toothed tiger, that's really important. Like, you might want to climb up a tree because that would be safer. Or maybe don't go into that cave because maybe that's where all the saber-toothed tigers live. So those are the things that was supposed to help us, that part of the brain was supposed to help us with. Unfortunately, as time went on, that part of the brain kind of got twisted. And what started happening is we started hearing those things that, were like our parents' belief systems, like money doesn't grow on trees, close the door because we're not heating the great outdoors. I mean, just those little things, right? Don't hit your sister. I can go on and on, the different things. But a lot of them are, we didn't do this well enough, Yeah, maybe I didn't do my homework for 6 weeks, and so I was going to be grounded for life. That's actually true. I guess I got off, though, early. But there are things that our parents have set inside us, and their parents, and we are so lucky because we're the ones that get to change the pattern right here, right now. Because the belief is, in Native American cosmology, is that I am here, but I'm also my past 7 generations and my future 7 generations. So whatever I change in me changes everything in that last 7 years and that future 7 generations, which is lovely, because that means I'm healing my mom, and I'm healing my grandma and my great-grandmother. And that's a really wonderful feeling, because I can see those family patterns of where especially the females in my family, where they dimmed their light. And a lot of the places they dimmed their light was fear. And there is a bit of fear going on this planet right now. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And basically, I can't even look at the TV or anything to find out what has happened next. A lot of people say, "Did you hear about this?" And I go, "No," because I'm blissfully unaware. Yay. Because I cannot, for myself, hold my light and listen to those things. I have to instead go, wow, that's happening. Okay, I'm going to go into a place of prayer. And that's something I do a lot as a prayer chaplain. Being a prayer chaplain has really changed my life. And that's because of the fact that whenever I'm having a problem in the world where somebody doesn't like them and somebody doesn't like them and they're right and they're wrong and they're wrong and they're right, I come back to love. Because that is where we can turn the light up, is love. And there's this wonderful unity practice that we do, and it's called denials. In spirit coaching, we call it withholds. And basically what it is for us to hold more light, we have to get rid of that what doesn't serve. In spirit coaching, it is something that we do when we want to forgive and forget. And we call it let it go and know. So it's kind of a different way. In unity, what we do is that we deny the power of fear, lack, or sickness so that we can bring in more positive and affirming truths. So the purpose is to break down the negative mental images and let go of any inharmonious conditions, but by denying that they have any power over you. So there's nothing in the universe to fear. And you release all ideas of lack by saying things like, I deny that sickness has a power over me. Or maybe when you are in pain, you like, I radiate health and well-being. And that's the next part is, as I said that, I radiate health and well-being. That's an affirmation. So once you have this denial, you get to bring in this new thing. I deny that I am sick, and I affirm that I am healthy and well. And that really is a great thing because our bodies hear everything we say. If you say that you're sick and tired, and then I'm going to say cancel clear because I don't want my body to hear that, because I instead choose to be healthy and full of energy. And sometimes that's not easy. Sometimes our bodies are like, hey, I got this going on. And sometimes we have it going on for a long time. Like I have had this nerve pain that has been shooting down my hand since May. But I keep telling myself, oh, but that's just a manifestation of my body telling me that I need to pay more attention. And because I've been doing that, what actually has happened is I have found out some things and I have readjusted, and now it's a little bit there, but it's not as bad as it used to be where it just was constantly on fire. But I believe it's because I kept saying, nope, that's not the truth of my being. Nope, that's not the truth of my being, which my body keeps hearing. Oh, no, she keeps saying it's healed. She keeps saying it's wonderful. And sometimes that's not easy, especially when it's really, really painful. But if you keep doing that, then what's going to happen is your body is going to hear, I am well, I am healthy, I radiate love. And that's going to become the truth. Some people say that that when you do that, that's like sticking your head in the sand. It's like, no, I'm not doing this, I'm not being that. But I don't think that's actually true, because it's not like you're not saying, hey, it's not there. You're just saying, I don't want it to be there. And we can do this in so many different ways. When we start hearing those voices in our head that are saying we are less than, like, okay, I did this wrong, and now I could beat myself up for the next week or so about how I did this thing wrong. Or you can just say, wow, I'm really human, I messed up, because we all know that to be human means to be messy, and so that if you have a really messed up life, you're doing a really great human job. So that's my little motto is like, oh, I messed up. I am doing an excellent human job. Wonderful. That my body's going to hear that. It's going to hear that affirmation. And it's going to go, oh, okay, you're safe. And that's basically all it wants, is to feel safe, loved, nurtured. To have that inside place say, oh, even though I did this, it's okay. Because the love that I am radiates more than all of the other stuff that I could do that maybe isn't exactly on spot. And that's kind of what the word sin is sin is the word that actually says, I missed the mark. And that has to do with like arrows. So when you hear that, the actual word that it comes from has to do with archery. So it's like when you sit there and think, oh, sin is a bad thing. It's like, no, it's just an archer term, Latin, and it means I missed the mark. So how many people have missed the mark? Right? Okay, we've all missed the mark. So why is it that we feel that we alone have missed the mark and we're worse than everybody else? And why would we do that to ourselves? Now, maybe not everybody does that to themselves. Maybe you're out there and you're like, I do everything properly and everything right and everything goes exactly the way it should be. And I'm going to say, wow, good for you, because that's not my reality. My reality is more as I have some bumps and, a lot of speed bumps and more speed bumps and more speed bumps. And they show me, though, the lessons where it's time for me to take a pause and look at what's really going on. Am I radiating my light? Am I bringing love in? And, we all know that love is God, and God lives within us. So love lives within us because love is God and God is love, right? I mean, that's what unity is about, that we express the love that we are, which is God within. And I love this quote from Mahatma Gandhi. It says, in the midst of darkness, light persists. So what is that darkness? That darkness is those thoughts that go along and bring us down further and further into the rabbit hole, saying all of those different things. So it's time for us to pull out ourselves from the rabbit hole. And I have this wonderful tool that helps, because when we, from spirit coaching now, do withholds, when we are withholding, we are not only withholding, we're kind of like withholding our love. So we want to let those things that would keep us from expressing love, we want to get rid of them. And when we withhold, we are actually withholding from the love that we are. And when we withhold from God, we're not surrendering to God's will. And that creates anxiety and worry. And what does that mean? It's like, okay, say you have the perfect plan. And the perfect plan is going along, and there goes that speed bump. Gosh darn it, that speed bump showed up again. Now, I can do one of two things. I can go into anxiety or worry about that speed bump, or I can go, God, take the wheel. I don't know anything. I'm not in control. And then from that place, move forward. Now that's an actual easier way to go, is just say, okay, it's not going the way I thought it would go. I'm going to just keep going though. And I'm going to keep holding that love in my heart and that peace, which is so much better than feeling the fear, the worry, the anxiety of, this is not going the way I want it to go. So letting go of control is a way, and letting God run your life a little bit more when you realize, oops, I've hit that speed bump. God must be saying, I need to take a little bit of a pause, see what's going on. When we withhold from others, it kind of looks like, and this is a really big thing for me, because when we withhold from others, it's like we're just keeping all of ourselves. And when we don't withhold, what it looks like is giving of ourselves. We are kinder to people. Maybe we go to that homeless person sitting in front of Starbucks and kneel down to that person and talk to them as if they're a human being. And this is really important to me because I love Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa to me is the person that I would love to be, except maybe not be the nun part and maybe not smoke cigarettes, because I didn't, it's like she smoked like that. But what she did do is she went out in the world. Now, she became a nun and she was in India and she was teaching in a girls' school. And she got this call that God said, I want you to go down and minister to the people. Now, I don't know if you know about India. India has this caste system that there are these people called the untouchables. And if you are not allowed to touch these people, you are not allowed to talk to these people. These are people who are sick, maybe they're poor, they're definitely like homeless. They could be like rotting, dying in the streets. And in India, you would just walk right by them. Well, Mother Teresa couldn't do that because she saw something in them. She saw the face of God in everybody. And so she went out, and at first she started going out, and the diocese, these are like the priests and stuff, they're like, oh, you can't do that. You need to stay safe in here. And she's like, no. God's put it on my heart. I'm supposed to go minister to these people. They're like, no, you can't minister to these people. These are like dirty, dying people. Why would you want to minister to them? She's like, why wouldn't I want to minister to them? Aren't they the most important people? They are God too. And one of her quotes said, if you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. So, yeah, let's be selfish. Let's have ulterior motives and be kind. Be kind anyway. How can we be kind? Well, one of the ways we can be kind, and if you're interested in this, is volunteering at Bread and Broth. We have just been asked by Beth Wallace to we need volunteers, and so if you are wanting a way to volunteer to look at the face of God, please come talk to me and I will get you in touch with the right people, because this is how we change the world. One person at a time, one heart at a time, bringing that love in and really, really showing each individual, no matter what they look like, no matter what their belief system is, that they are the face of God and that we recognize that. That's how we turn up the light. We turn up the love. Because regardless, and sometimes maybe that person, they're dirty, maybe they're smelly, but they're still God. And we can show them the love. We can show them the kindness. That's how we turn up the light. Marianne Williams says, you playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightening about shrinking so others won't feel insecure around you. As you let your light shine, you indirectly give others permission to do the same. So let's turn up our light so that others can do the same. So part of that withholding thing that we do is in spirit coaching, we have this thing, and I've got these on the back. It's called a Let It Go and No list. It's part of our forgiveness module. And on one side, it says, what do I need to let go of? Now, there's a lot of different ways you can do this. You could have, maybe I need to let go of a person who is toxic. Maybe I need to let go of a situation that's toxic. Maybe I need to still forgive my mother for not letting me go to the Alice Cooper concert at Sahara Tahoe back in 1977. Maybe that's what I need to do, because I'm still holding on to it. Why am I still holding on to it? I don't know, but I can do this thing. So what you do on one side is, what do I need to let go of? And then on the other side is, who needs to know? So you can do like I said, you can do an iteration of, it's a thing. You can do, it's a person. Personally, this was so helpful when I was massage teacher down at the Bodhi Tree Center. That it's now closed, but a few years ago, the state of Nevada decided we had to redo all of our lesson plans. Now, our lesson plans were just fine and dandy, but they had us redo them into their format, to redo a lesson plan, it usually took about 8 hours of typing because you had to go through and make it fit everything. And when you've done about 12 of these and you're spinning and you're like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? So I was really upset having to do those because it was like, I'm wasting my time. We already had this. I use this as a way of helping me to get through all of the frustration, anger, and more anger that I was doing. And how I kind of looked at this was, what do I need to let go of? I need to let go of that I have to do these silly lesson plans. And why are we having to do all of these lesson plans? And put all down everything that I felt about this lesson plan, all of the frustration, how it was a time sapping thing, all of that. And then on the other side, who needs to know? Well, the first person that needs to know is God. God needs to know that you're having frustrations that with whatever it is. So we let God know. And the next thing I did is then I started putting down the people I work with. Now, they were all doing these lesson plans along with me, so it wasn't like I'm just alone, but I thought I'm going to put them all down there. And then I even put like the state of Nevada, the state of Nevada's massage commission. And as I was putting down all of these people, it's like I felt lighter and lighter and lighter. And then when we get all done, we fold it up right on the outside. I forgive myself. I forgive the state of Nevada. And thank you, Creator, for transforming all negativity to love and light. After I do that, I take that piece of paper, and you can do this. I burn them personally. I throw them in my fireplace, and I watch them burn. Now, what's really, really funny is when you watch them burn, how do they burn? Because sometimes they just kind of smolder, and sometimes they go poof. And I'm always amazed by how they do it. Now, if you don't have a safe place to burn one of these, and if you don't have one of the forms, you can do this definitely on a piece of paper. If those of you who are on Zoom would like this, put in the chat your email address, and I will send you one of these forms so that you can see how this works. But when you're all done, either burn it, shred it, put it in the shredder, bury it, and just know that when you're doing that, you're releasing all of that energy. Because that energy is keeping you stuck. That energy is dimming your light. And right now in our world, we need so much the light of love to come forth, because it's time. It's time to change the way things are going. We've had enough strife. We've had enough division. We've seen how that's working. It's not. So what it is time to do is to bring in the light, bring in the love, and start showing others that regardless of what they believe, regardless of what they're doing, how they're dressed, how they're not dressed, whether they got purple in their hair or they have just no hair whatsoever, it doesn't matter, because they all are the face of God. And we need that face of God and that light within each individual to spark up and become like a beacon, so that we can all really be truly what we were supposed to be. And I will leave you with this from the Course in Miracles. Forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. Forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. So let go. Let those people know virtually. You can let them know physically. You don't have to. Better to sometimes let them not, just let them know on the thing. And then forgive them and hold them in love, and remind yourself that you are loved too. Thank you.